everyone, welcome to my garden and my channel, Miss Pretty Plants. I garden in Toronto in zone 6, sometimes 5, and I wanted to kind of welcome you back to my channel and into my garden and take you along. I've been working a little bit in my backyard and I wanted to show you some of the changes that I was going to be making in my garden, in my backyard garden. I've actually put in a little mulch pathway into my woodland garden, just using some black mulch and existing bricks that I had lying around. Actually, this bed was quite a bit shorter up to here, and I increased the size of this bed. If you've been following me on my channel, last fall I did extend this shade garden bed and I installed a couple of yellow twig dogwoods, one on either side, and 2 variegated red twig dogwoods in this bed, and some hostas and some lungwort pulmonaria plants in here, and just been adding some shade shrubs in here, shade tolerant shrubs in here, and extending this bed a bit. So today I wanted to take you along and share with you what I'm planning to do to these beds. I have some more exciting new plants that I want to add to these beds and enhance them, and really take you along and show you the changes that I have made, and also give you that as an update, and also share with you the plants that I will be adding. So I'm going to take you down this path, this view of the shade garden, woodland garden bed. So if you remember from my video last season, and I will link it here in the card above and in the description below, and share with you that project that I had started last year, and it's really come a long way and I'm really excited. And I wanted to share and show you that it didn't require a lot of materials, it didn't require a lot of anything to get this done. I actually got free logs from somebody in the neighborhood cutting down a tree, and I've actually used these logs to create some sort of a naturalistic path, and also using some of my own stones and some of my own bricks that I already had. So I really like how eclectic this looks and how beautiful this is starting to look. And before I go ahead, I wanted to show you this beautiful Tahiti daffodil that's blooming, and it's just a stunning daffodil, double daffodil, and I just love how it lights up my woodland garden so much, having this flower in here. And it's raining today, and I actually really enjoy gardening in the rain because it's really easy to work the soil and it's lightly drizzling, and it's really beautiful today. So I'm going to share with you what I have in mind, the plants that I'm going to be adding, and really what I've done is I've kind of taken this walkway into my back garden, and I've also added, increased the bed size. I took out all the bricks that were lining this bed initially, and I plan to make them all one, and then I extended this out here all the way to the middle here, and I'll take you along. It really is looking really nice, and it has like a little path to go back into my patio from here, just added a bit of definition to this area, and also used some leftover stone to kind of line up this kind of encircle this as well, so that as I plant, nobody is stepping into the plants, and it's kind of a clear path of where I come out into the backyard space on both sides. So those are the changes I've made, and with that I wanted to share with you some of the plants that I have recently bought. Actually a lot of Hellebores, and right now they just look like leaves, and really this is planning for the next season. And Hellebore leaves are pretty much evergreen, so even the leaves themselves are really pretty and huge and gorgeous looking. So I'm adding them to my shade garden, and I will share with you the varieties that I am adding. I have about 8 plants that I'm adding today to this garden, and the varieties, the first one is called Sandy Shores. So it's more of a coral hellebore, and they all will be around 18 to 24 inches in height, and they are all hardy up to zone 4, so extremely hardy. And then the other one that I'm adding is called Rio Carnival. So Rio Carnival is a yellow with a burgundy center. And then I also have a Maid of Honor, which is a double pink, and it's beautiful. It has these roughly double pink flowers. And then I also have Roman Red, which is a rich wine red. And then there is also a Dark and Handsome, which is a double almost black bloom. And then I have a French Kiss, which is a white with raspberry pink centers. And I also have a Paris in Pink, which is a medium pink. And then a Wedding Crasher, which is a double pink. And a Snowbell one, which is on the smaller side, only 10 to 12 inches. And it has side-facing double pure white flowers. So really excited. I mean, there are a bunch that I have dotted along over here. And I also will be putting some over here as well. I've kind of roughly placed them where I want them to be. It will all depend on when I dig and what I find. If there's a lot of root contention, I'll have to kind of reposition them. But I wanted to just take a moment and just soak in these beautiful daffodils that are blooming in the back there. They're just beautiful. I love these Tahiti daffodils, and I'm so glad I added them to this bed. It's just brightening up my afternoon and just time in the garden. It's just beautiful. So those are all the hellebores that I'm adding, and this is the Snowbell one, which is the smallest one that I'm adding today. And I already have some hellebores in this bed, which I added last season. There is one here actually that is about to bloom. These are fairly young hellebores, so they are not going to bloom too much this year, but I think by next year they should be nice and fuller compared to what they are right now. And also wanted to show you another plant that I'm adding. This is a different plant that I don't already have in my garden. It's called a giant meadow rue. So it's also called Thalictrum. I don't know how to even say the second part of this plant. It's Thalictrum Rosh Prunium. So this one is a beautiful deciduous plant that can grow in the shade, and it will grow about 4 feet tall, and it has these beautiful airy blooms in lavender with a yellow center, and they will bloom in July and August. And from the pictures I've seen, they can get really tall and add these wispy airy flowers in the shade garden. So excited to add them. As you can see, the foliage is very delicate, almost like almost like a baptisia. Reminds me of a baptisia. And beautiful, beautiful, delicate looking plant. And just be patient with it. When it comes back in your garden, it's a little bit late to emerge from the ground. And it's also kind of nice. It's almost like a bleeding heart type plant as well. So might be a good complement to a bleeding heart, because bleeding heart just dies back after the spring bloom, and this is what's going to pick up in the summer. So it's a perfect plant to complement a bleeding heart in your shade garden if you want to add a Thalictrum to it. So those are the other 3 plants. And then I also have 3 Jack of Diamonds by Proven Winner. So these are the Bruneras. They are beautiful. They love part shade, and they have these pretty blue flowers. This one is already blooming in the spring, and it's just beautiful. Like, I love what this is looking like. It's beautiful, and hoping to add 3 of these together in this spot to kind of create a little bit of a drift. And yeah, so these are the plants that I am adding into this shady garden extension kind of reorganization a bit, and path creation. And I also have some hostas that I ordered from Costco. So these are just bulbs that just arrived today, and I was actually waiting for them to arrive so that I could plan out how I was going to plant them. And some of them are already showing me a little bit of growth, so it's exciting. So I'll share with you, I mean, the bulbs, they all look the same, but I will share with you the varieties. So this is the sheet that came with the hostas. It has 7 varieties of hostas. So it has a Hosta Francis William, which is A. So it's this hosta here, which is beautiful yellow variegated, kind of a bluish colored hosta, and it's fairly large. And then it also has a hosta So Sweet. So B is the So Sweet. So this has got a thinner leaf with a white margin and ridged kind of leaves. And then it has a hosta Bressingham Blue. So this is the C. So this is this plain kind of blue thick-leaved hosta, and it's also a bigger one. And then it has Albo marginata. So this is the D. So this is again with the wispier foliage, kind of like the So Sweet. So B and D are quite similar. And then it has E, which is fragrant bouquet. So this one is this one in the center. So this has the beautiful white variegation and picker leaves. And then it has the Hosta elegans. So this is another blue hosta, which is also fairly large, and the leaves are very similar to Bressingham Blue, as you can see over here. And then there is a Hosta Christmas Tree. So this is the Hosta Christmas Tree. It has a bit of a yellow and creamy kind of margin to it as well, and a deeper green. So these are all the varieties of hostas that I received, and I will be adding them today to my shade garden. I don't expect these hostas to do a whole bunch this year because they are going to be fairly new, but I'm excited to kind of get them added into my space here. I have lots of space actually around this rhododendron that I kind of want to add more hostas in on this side, and as well as I'm going to add a few in there as well. I think there are about 15 or so bulbs in this box. I think 2 of each kind. So excited to add them to the garden, and I will show you when I'm done planting these in the ground. And I also have plans of, actually I have a few more plants that I want to show you that I'm adding. So I also have some grasses that I'm adding. So this one here is a feather reed grass called Overdam. So as you can see, it has these beautiful variegated foliage. It has a little bit of a pink tone to it as well, the leaves, and it has beautiful blooms in midsummer to fall, and it will get to about 60 inches in height. And it's a beautiful grass, and it can take part shade, which is why I'm adding it in this spot. I have 2 of these, and then I have the regular Karl Forster feather reed grass, which I'm going to be adding over here on this side of the bed. So that's what I am adding. There are 2 of these, and these will, let me see the tag. So these will get to be about 72 inches, so much taller than the other one, about 5 to 6 feet tall, and beautiful deep green foliage. And it's going to have these beautiful pink blooms that turn into like this tan color in the fall, and it's going to look really nice and add texture in this spot and height in this spot. So I'm going to add these. And I also have a tiger eye sumac in my flower garden on the other side, which I want to actually add to this spot over here, because in case it decides to run a bit, I do not want it running in my flower beds. I don't mind putting it here, and if it decides to run a bit in this spot, I will be okay with it, just to appreciate the fall color and the beauty it's going to bring in the garden. And even that one can be okay in part shade. So I will be adding it over here if I can create a space for it and I can dig and there isn't a lot of root contention in there. So those are all the plants, those are all the spots for the plants that I'm adding, and I will show you as I go along and what this project looks like once the plants are in the ground. And I'll be using some sheep manure to kind of add to the soil, because the soil here isn't the best. It has improved a lot because I added a lot of organic material in the fall. I've added a lot of leaves, I've added a lot of bark, so it is slowly improving, but it still needs a lot of work. So I will be adding a little bit of sheep manure to this and getting my plants in the ground. And I will show you once I have these plants in the ground If you found this video useful, do give me a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed, do consider subscribing to my channel, as I post regularly about all things gardening. And I hope you've found something interesting in that I'm sharing today in these plants that you will choose to add in your own garden. So I'm going to get working, and I will get these plants in the ground, and if I have something interesting to show you as I am planting them, I will take you along. Otherwise, I will show you when I'm all done and planted. So here are the plants in the ground. All my Hellebores are planted along here. I actually planted 4 plants here, and then I did my Overdam grasses, one on each side in this bed. And I also did a couple of the feather reed grass, the Karl Forster, 2 on this side on their own. I kind of like how these grasses will be here, and then my Overdam variegated grasses will go there. And it's exciting to kind of see this woodland shade garden take shape. And I also planted the Brunnera on this side here. So this is the Diamond Brunnera. I planted 3 of them in here, and I also peppered in the Hellebores on this side as well. So there is 3 of them here, and then I did the little one, the snowbell one, over here. And I like how this is shaping. And I also planted the Thalictrums in the back there. So they are a group of 3 of them. And I think once this starts to fill in, it's going to look really nice. And I also have some hostas that I showed you that I got bare root, and I did kind of plant one in here, and then I also planted a few of them in this bed over here along with the Hellebores. So that's it, I'm done planting, and I just wanted to update you on my shade garden bed, what it was looking like today. And I actually finished planting yesterday, and I wanted to show you what this looks like today. And I also have some more new exciting plants that I'm also adding to my shade garden, and I'll share them with you in another video. Here's a sneak peek of what they are, and I just wanted to share with you these plants today, and I will upload another video and details on some other plants that I am adding to this shade garden in a part 2 of this video. So thank you again so much for watching. I hope everyone has a fabulous day, and I'll catch you in the next video.